friends, it's me Nikki here, and I'm so glad to finally get this video to you. I am so sorry it took so long. I get requests every day just about on when am I going to share all the details about my kitchen renovation, and I'm going to do it today. I tried to capture as much footage as I could during the process. It was a crazy process. I'll share that with you also. So I hope you will find it helpful. I want to jump right in because it's a lot of information. I hope you all will enjoy. If you have any questions or something that I left out, definitely leave me a message in the comments below. I thank you all for your patience, and let's jump right in. Okay, so friends, let's start with the before of my kitchen. When we purchased this house about 5 years ago, we automatically knew that this would be one of the spaces that is going to get a makeover because we wanted our dream kitchen. I love a white kitchen. I don't like dark cabinets. Many of you know that already. A lot of the features such as the lighting and appliances and things were getting a bit dated, and the countertops were all builder grade, very inexpensive, and just not my style or taste at all. So we knew that that was going to happen. But one thing about my husband and I, we have an agreement that we don't go in debt as far as our house besides a mortgage. We have a mortgage, don't get me wrong, but when we go to decorate, buy furniture, or renovate a room or outside or inside, we don't get in debt doing it. We don't use credit cards, financing, anything like that. What we do is we plan out our project, we save up for that project, and when the funds or cash funds are in place, then we go ahead and we jump on it. If it's not, we just keep on saving, keep on planning until it's ready. But in the end, whenever we do any space in our home, we want to know that it's fully paid for and that we don't have any debt tied to it besides a mortgage for our home. And so that's just a tip. If you're young out there and you you just getting into your first home or anything like that, that's one thing that I would encourage you from an old schooler like myself is just, take your time and just don't, whatever you do, don't, because it's exciting when you get in your house, don't tie debt into it. Save up, take your time. There's no rush, just take your time and use that to plan out. So with that being said, 5 years down the road, we were ready to jump on the project. I mean, we've done other things like our bedroom. We had a lot of different projects that we have been saving up and working on, so we really were ready to jump on the kitchen at this time now. One thing that I knew was going to happen is that we were going to do some builds in the kitchen, and one was the cabinets. I did not like having this open space at the top of our cabinets. I thought that it made the cabinets look unfinished. It just did not add anything to it, and I didn't use that space. So my husband filled it in. It's basically a box method. He built a box up top, and then he added the crown molding all the way up to the ceiling so that it has a kind of one look. It made the kitchen actually look a lot bigger, and then it just made the cabinets look prettier. I mean, they just look more expensive, and it really looked good. Of course, this picture here that you're seeing, the video that I took here, it's not painted yet, so it's kind of hard to visualize, but this is the end result. And as you can see, I think it just looks so much better. I love it so much more by filling in that space, and it was very affordable to do. So like I said, the first thing that we were doing in our kitchen renovation is building everything that needed to be built in the kitchen. My husband and I, we did everything ourselves besides our countertops. One thing was this desk that came with the home. I did not like it. It did not function well for me. I just did not like the cabinet above it. Anything about it I did not like. I knew I wanted a fireplace in the kitchen, so that's something that my husband and I built, and I have a video on that already. But here is where I wanted my coffee bar to be, and I wanted that whole space to be filled in because I thought it would better balance out the kitchen also. So we ripped that cabinet out ourselves one night, and we did the best that we could without damaging the wall too much, and I think we did a pretty good job for what we had. And then we kind of did our patchwork and everything, and then when we painted, everything went back to looking brand new. So I was so happy about that. But when you're in the process, it can look a bit scary, because when I saw this, I was telling my husband, how are we gonna get the walls back smooth again? So but he did it, so it went back to be beautiful. Now, as far as the cabinets, we did initially look at stock cabinets, but getting an additional one to add to the one we had, I did not like the look. I wanted to somehow bring character to my kitchen. So I went on Craigslist for a little over $100, found this china cabinet. The bottom part is going to be used in my living room, which I'll show you in another video. And the top part here, I wanted to use as my cabinet above my coffee bar here. I thought it would fill in the space nice. I thought it would bring a lot of character to the room. Very affordable. The stock cabinets were actually going to run us $400 a cabinet versus paying right at $100 for this beautiful cabinet that all I had to do to it was paint it. I mean, it was in great condition, and we had to mount it and hang it on the wall, which that was a struggle for me and my husband because, like again, like I said, we had no help. We did everything ourselves. So the first thing that we did was we deglossed the cabinet, and that was important because when we got advised, we went to a paint shop that said that's one thing that we want to do is degloss. So we deglossed it with a liquid deglosser, and it's just a simple process of getting a soft cloth or old sock or whatever and just wiping it down with the deglosser to kind of get all of that debris off, all the dirt off, and kind of prep it for painting. One thing I will say if you're painting yourself is take your time, because in the end, if you rush, you're going to regret it. So we take our time. We take all the pieces off that we possibly could on the cabinet so that we can paint them individually, so that in the end we have a nice, crisp, clean look. You know, sometimes I see people go to paint something and they leave the doors on and then they're just kind of slapping the paint on, and in the end it looks like you just kind of went in and kind of painted it really quickly. So we did not want that look in our kitchen because it's such an important space, and we love our home, and we wanted to take a lot of love and care into it, and so we did that. And so we took everything off that we possibly could take off. We did keep the hinges on this cabinet here because it was an older cabinet and we couldn't find matching hinges. So we said, you know what, let's just paint them white so they blend in, and we left it at that. But on our kitchen cabinets, we took all of the hinges off. But this is where the cabinet was painted. We used a sprayer and it worked great, the same sprayer that we used on our kitchen. But as you can see, the whole space filled in beautifully. This space right here is where we built our fireplace. I have another video already on that, and so I'll link that above or below so you could check that out. But you can see how everything kind of fits in, and that one cabinet gives a lot of character to the space. So now let's talk about painting. One of the biggest tips that I can give you if you plan on painting your kitchen cabinets is to go to a professional paint store. I like Lowe's and Home Depot, but I wouldn't recommend that because I would go somewhere where they kind of have a little more training in the paint department. We took one of our cabinets off of the kitchen door, out of the kitchen, I'm sorry, and we took it to the paint store so that they could actually see the texture, see what type of cabinets we had, and advise us on what kind of paint we should use, how we should do it, and all of that kind of thing. So that's what I recommend. I also would say if you're wanting to renovate your kitchen and you want to get a new look, painting is the cheapest way to go. I mean, we've had estimates for kind of refacing, new cabinets and all, and the cheapest is paint, because all you have to do is really buy the paint and buy the sprayer, and you're basically good to go if all you're trying to do is paint your cabinet. So here we are in the paint store, and they're kind of telling us about, you know, what would be the best paint for our cabinets, and we're looking at different paints and things like that. While we were there, we also did pick up all the things we needed to protect our kitchen, because we were actually going to paint our cabinets in the kitchen because it was during the winter time, it was cold, and we were scared that the paint wouldn't dry properly being in the garage. And so that was one thing. We did purchase paint from that paint store, and I got a white that was a high gloss. Now here was where I was indecisive. When I got home, I really thought about it, and I was researching and researching. I was like, you know what, Mike, I don't think I want high gloss look on my cabinets. I don't think I want that high gloss look. And I went back and forth with it, and he was like, you know what, if you're questioning yourself with that, you may not want to go that route. So we did switch the paint. We went to Lowe's and we got the semi-gloss of the Olympic one in pure white, and I'm so happy we did because I love the way it looks in the semi-gloss. I love the pure white. It's just perfect, perfect, perfect. So here we're prepping the kitchen, and it's all about getting that big roll of plastic and covering everything, because we were painting the walls and the cabinets. So we painted the walls first, so we knocked that out, and the ceiling. So my husband jumped on the ceiling, I jumped on the walls, and we got all of that done prior to painting our cabinets. And I will say one of the biggest parts of painting your cabinets in your kitchen is the prep work. You want to take time and prep and make sure you cover everything properly so that in the end you have a beautiful result and you don't have paint anywhere, you haven't damaged your floors. We completely covered our floors with cardboard, then put paper on top of that. I went on the computer, uploaded a picture of my kitchen, and then I identified each cabinet by putting a letter to it. I assigned each cabinet a letter. I then took some Ziploc bags and I put the letters, coordinating letters on each Ziploc bag, so that once we took our cabinet doors down, I put all of the hardware for that cabinet in that bag, and that way we could keep everything identified, because especially with cabinets, you don't want to mix screws and things like that, because when you go to put your cabinet back up, you may find things that will be a little wonky. So you want to keep the original screws with the original cabinet doors. I highly recommend that. Another thing I did was I took a piece of painter's tape, and then on the inside of the cabinet I just marked what cabinet that was, because we didn't paint the inside of our cabinet, so we knew kind of what matched up with what. And this makes a big difference when you go to put your kitchen back together. Now after we painted the kitchen and the ceiling, we then took all of the cabinet doors off. Everything, was identified, and we laid them out in the main part of our kitchen. And I will say, your house will be a disaster. All of your house will be a disaster because you have to move everything out of your kitchen. My husband, he had these kind of slats here, and he hammered nails into them so that we could have a place to lay them down, the cabinets, as we paint them, so that they didn't lay flat on the floor, because we wanted them to kind of dry properly, and again, wanting a really clean and neat look. And then we put the coordinating bag next to it, and because it's zip locked, and you really is protected so that the paint would not get onto the hardware. So then back to the deglosser, we went back to our liquid deglosser, and we did that for every cabinet. I do not want you to be misled. This is a tough task, because with your kitchen, there is a lot of cabinet doors, and it is a tedious job. It's one cabinet after the other, And my husband and I, we would take turns. He would work a little while, and while I go upstairs and kind of relax a little bit, and we would switch off. It was something that we took, days and days to do. It wasn't something that was done overnight, because we wanted to take a lot of care with it. Now, we did spray all of them, and we would switch on. He would spray a little bit, I would spray a little bit. We researched, and we found that spraying was probably the way we want to go to give us the cleaner look, and I'm so happy we did. I love how the finish went on. We took a couple days, did the front of the cabinets, let them dry for a couple days, and then we moved on to doing the back of the cabinet doors, and then let those dry a couple days. So again, can you imagine your kitchen being a disaster for all these days on days on days? It really is, but in the end, it was really so worth it. Now, I will not recommend the sprayer that we're using here. I got it from Lowe's. I'll try to link in the description box below if I can. But the bigger one was leaking, and we didn't like it. And so the smaller one that I'm using here, it worked perfectly. But I wouldn't want you to go out there and spend a bunch of money on a sprayer and just have one part of the sprayer worked. But again, we were very happy with the smaller one, but the bigger one, it was defective or something. I don't know. But I'll put the brand that we have below so that you can do your research on it. So once all of the cabinet doors were complete, that's what we worked on first. We sat them up against the wall very gently so that they would not be untouched, because that was a lot of work. And so we could do the rest of the kitchen, and we covered them up too while we painted, just to make sure they're protected. And then we also ordered our new hardware. Now, we ordered ours from Lowe's. I'll link all that in the description box below, but it was very affordable. Even though they were special order, these were the ones I fell in love with. Now, don't get me wrong, I think hardware can be kind of pricey, but these ran us, I want to say, around $3 to $5, so I didn't think it was too bad. And then we painted the cabinets, and we kind of put paper on the inside because we did not want to paint the inside of our cabinet. So again, the prep work is probably the most difficult part of the project you will find, is taping off the ceiling, taping off the cabinets, and doing all of that. But you want to take your time. If I could not give you any more advice, take your time when you're prepping to make sure that you have everything covered that you don't want paint on it, and everything uncovered that you do want to paint, because in the end, it makes a huge difference. We use that same sprayer to paint all of the cabinets, the upper and the lower. Again, it's a task and a half, and you're going to have to put probably about 2, maybe 3 coats depending on your cabinet. But as you can see, my husband, he had built in the top there, and all of that is now painted, and it's starting to look like it's coming together at this point for us. And really, this was the point in the renovation that we were starting to feel some relief, because all the doors were done. We had the cabinet part done. That was kind of like the nerve-wracking part of this whole project. So now let's move into all of those finishing touches. So now it's time to get our granite put in, to get the lighting put in, and all of those kind of things. And so that was the fun part for me, because I just was, with everything that was done, it was, you know, coming together. And I was just getting so excited, and I couldn't wait for it to be finished. So one thing we decided is we were not going to put the doors on the cabinets until they put the granite in, because we didn't know what the process of them bringing it in, if they would be kind of slamming things or maybe damage things. And so we said, let's just hold off on that part until we actually have the cabinets in. So you know, they just stayed to the side. And as you can see, the cabinet I bought for my coffee bar has that wood top on it. We're going to have granite put on that, so then it will match the kitchen and kind of blend into the kitchen. So the granite company we chose, they sent us to the warehouse to pick out our slabs. And when I saw this, I fell in love. I knew it was it. And I'm that type of person, is when I see it, I know it. And that's something I really couldn't plan for. You can look online at granite and things like that, but you really need to go see your slabs, your actual slabs that are going in your house, because, you know, each piece is different. And so we got 2 slabs, and I loved it. And this is it right after it got installed, right after we put the doors on the kitchen cabinets. But as you can see, the handles and things are not on the kitchen cabinets yet. But this is really a part where we're seeing how the kitchen is going to come together. And so it was really exciting part there. But beautiful, 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 beautiful. Happy choice with the granite. I love it. It's just beautiful. I love it. And so I'm happy with that choice. And so then it was time for the backsplash, which we got all of the materials from that from Lowe's, and my husband did that himself. Again, taking his time to really, that took him about a day to do, but in the end, it really matched up well with the granite. Along with, I went to, online, I purchased this door because I felt like the pantry door needed something that was like a French door, something that was more open, because right in that cove there, it can feel a little dark to me, especially when I had those dark cabinets. And I said, if I put a French door on there, it would make that space look more lighter and open, and oh, it sure did. Just putting that simple door made a huge difference in the space. And even when I turn on the light in the pantry, if I want extra lighting, it just really looks good. Now, my husband was not happy that I went the cheap route and just got a door slab, because he had to kind of do all of the work to get the door hung, and it was kind of a pain, but I did save money. The door was like right at $100. I think it was right at $100, but in the end, it turned out beautifully. Now, as for my lighting, I got that from Overstock.com. Both the chandeliers, you guys know I'm the chandelier queen. I'm going to have a chandelier in every room in my house. You know how I am. But this one here, out of all the chandeliers I have put together in my life, this was the toughest one. So if you purchase this, know that it is going to be a tough put together. Oh my gosh, it took me hours, very little directions and tons of pieces. But I could not pick another one. It was just the perfect lighting for the space, and I'm really happy that I had to go through that. It was a labor of love, friends, but in the end, I would not, if I had to do it again, I would still pick that same fixture and still spend all those hours trying to get every last one of those crystals on there. My husband was just laughing at me. He said, "You love your crystals? You still love your crystals?" I was like, I still love my crystals, but in the end, it turned out great. So these are just kind of, I shared as much as I could. I tried to get as much footage as I could, but friends, it was really hard to record and go through this process also. But I do want to share with you some of the things as far as budget, because I think if you're going to jump on this project, maybe this will be helpful information to you. Now, we did call someone out to see how much would they charge us to renovate our kitchen in the way that we wanted it renovated, and they quoted us $39,000. And that was for, you know, the appliances, basics, and refinishing our cabinets, not getting new cabinets, not doing the coffee bar, and a lot of things that we did were not included in this price. So we were like, I don't think so. And so then what we did is we just wanted to know what was the average cost. Our costs for doing our entire kitchen, including our appliances, including doing the granite, painting, everything, was $12,500. So, you know, it really was a great savings, us doing the work ourselves. Don't get me wrong, it was a lot of work, but in the end, we saved a ton of money. We did it with love, because we love our home, so we took care of our home. A lot of times when you bring people in, they're just trying to get the job done, and so we knew everything that was getting done, and we're so happy with everything that is done, and it's customized to our liking. And so that was the thing about it. But again, it was not an easy task. I don't want you to think that at all. It was a tedious task, but it was so well worth it. So in the end, paying, you know, we cost us for all of our appliances and everything $12,500, and we saved $26,500. The thing about it too is planning. We knew what appliances we wanted. We knew what lighting we wanted. And then we just monitored it. And when it went on sale, that's when we got it. So we were able to get our appliances 40% off. We were able to get a lot of things on sale because we knew what we wanted. And we just monitored that store, you know, every couple of days. And when it went on sale, that's when we purchased. So that was one way we saved money. Along with painting the cabinets, that's a way to save money if you just paint your cabinets. So I hope these tips were helpful. If you're not a part of my channel, I would love to have you. I do home organization, home decor, planning, all kinds of things on this channel. But I would love to have you as a part of one of my friends. So definitely click that subscribe button. And for all my old subscribers, I love you. I hope you all are doing great. I'll see you at the next video. And this is Nikki saying goodbye.